Good morning. I am Coimbatore Tirumular Sittarpeedam Sivayogi Sivarajan speaking. Now I am going to speak about privatization of Hindu temples. Some yogis and yoga teachers of Tamil Nadu have suggested for privatization of Hindu temples. And many persons have requested me to give my comments on this privatization of Hindu temples. Actually, India is a secular country. Secular country means it should be disconnected with the religious activities. So, at the time of independence, Jawaharlal Nehru tried to bring all the religious institutions, not only Hindu temples, but also churches and mosques under the government scanner, under the banner of government. But the Americans stressed, give pressure on Jawaharlal Nehru to avoid Christian churches and mosques from the purview of government control. So, Jawaharlal Nehru left churches and mosques from the control of government. But he continued to have control of the Hindu temples. At that time, the Hindus are in a situation, if the temple administrations were given to the Hindu people, now many temples have disappeared because the Hindus have tendency to remove temple material and keep it in their house. I went to Madura, North Indian Madura, and went to get a darshan of Govardhanagiri, the mountain which Krishna took on his pinky and protected the people against the heavy rainfall caused by Indra. When I went there, I was astonished to see that only a piece of stone is kept as Govardhanagiri. I inquired with the temple administration, what is this? Where is the Govardhanagiri? He told, this is only the piece. This is the piece of the mountain. Where is the mountain? That is gone. Only piece of stone is there as Govardhanagiri. The entire Giri was taken away by bigotic devotees of Hinduism. Everybody broke a piece, took and kept in their house. Like this, the mountain disappeared. So, in that way, if the temples were handed over to Hindus at that time, the temples would have disappeared. Many temples and the properties might have disappeared like this. So, it is better that he governed, he brought all the temple administration under government. That is good at that time. But the situation has much improved now. Now the people are having temple administration with the government. For example, HR&C department. The lot of income generated and collected from the temples goes as general revenue. It goes to general budget. And this amount is utilized and spent for all community, including Christians and Muslims. But the Christian churches and the Muslims collect money from their community, from within the country as well as from outside the country, and they use the funds only for themselves. And the government has no interference with them. But in the HR&C department formed by every state government, they take away all the funds from the temple, and even the temple idols are also stolen by some politicians, and they were smuggled. They were sent to different countries. For example, I went to Ingoi Malai near Tiruchi. Ingoi Malai is very famous, and this house flies worshipped Shivalinga there. And that Shivalinga was a big, very big mark. This uh, what do we call this Maragada Linga. That Linga was stolen by leading politicians and it was sent to different countries. Even now, the Maragada Linga was not traced. There are also some these attempts to steal the Maragada Nataraja idol in one temple. I remember Tirupullani. That was saved by the temple security. So the Hindu people, they smuggle valuable idols and articles from the temple and continue to sell. And it was not being controlled by government. Even recently in Mylapore, the what we call this peacock was stolen. The peacock idol was stolen from the temple and a duplicate was installed there. And racket was busted by government. And in Tanjore, one big racket idol trafficking was tracked by this special police officer Pon Manikyavel. So that is continuing. So my suggestion is to the first level, the HRNC department should be, the status of HRNC department should be changed as an autonomous body. So the government, it should be first transformed into an autonomous body, so that the government control on that becomes least. And the working of the autonomous body of temple administration should be monitored by local committee, that is constituted by all parties and all social persons. So now if they allow 100% control to temple these local people, that may not be in a good spirit. The misuse and what is stealing of idols and stealing of this what is the hundi collections may happen. So first level we can make it an autonomous body. The temple administration should be made autonomous body. HRNC department should be made autonomous body. And the income collected from the temple should be selected and spent for Hindus only. Just like any other community, they are spending for their own use and development. The funds should be used only for the benefit of the Hindu people. For that, a separate budget should be created. Instead of sending the amount to general revenues to the state government, it's the autonomous body of temple administration should submit a separate budget. We are having a separate budget for railways. So the railway income is calculated and the expenditure all met from the budget. In the same way, it should be made an autonomous body first. Should have straight away converted into private control. The autonomous status will work, and control or the government supervision and the supervision of the local persons will help to run the government, and the income will be utilized properly for education, health service. What we can preserve the culture and civilization of temples, because in Tamil Nadu there are certain groups, they target only Hindu religions. They try to destroy their religion in the name of Pavitarivu Kalaham. They are not enlightened, they only half-baked enlightenment. The members of that organization, led by these old people wearing black uniform, they are half-baked intelligence. Because intelligence, as described by Tirumoolar, is 10-fold. The sixth one, this Pagutarivu, this is the sixth one they are claiming. The seventh one, eighth one, ninth one, and 10th knowledge comes out of religious and spiritual practices. Particularly Tamil Nadu, in Tamil literature is having lot of spiritual literature when compared to Sanskrit. And this literature is very useful for enlightenment and elevation. But some politicians, either in their ruling as well as in having some trust, they target Hinduism. They are not targeting Christians and Muslims. They target Hinduism. They criticize in a wrong manner. They motivate people against the religion, and they are actually the cultural and the civilization destroyers. They are not enlightened. They are dark persons wearing dark uniform. So, to save the temples and the culture, Hindu culture, age old ancient culture, the temple administration should be made an autonomous body, and the status of HRNC department should be made as autonomous and independent charge with the government and other supervision may be the need of the time. That will work better for this time to save the temples and temple properties and preserve the rare culture and civilization of Tamil Nadu. Thank you.